At 02:15 hours local time, the night sky over occupied Crimea remained deceptively quiet. Russian commanders overseeing the vital railway supply lines into the peninsula were confident. These bridges, heavily guarded and protected by dense air defense networks, formed the unbreakable lifeline carrying weapons, ammunition, fuel, and food to Russian forces on the southern front. But what they didn't know was that Ukraine had orchestrated one of its most complex operations yet. A synchronized strike combining waves of long-range drones, ballistic missiles, and coordinated air assets. In the coming hours, these critical railway bridges would be shattered, severing Russia's primary supply artery to Crimea. Ukrainian military intelligence had spent months preparing this operation. Reconnaissance teams, satellite data, and partisan reports inside occupied territory provided precise coordinates and timing patterns for Russian supply trains. Engineers and planners designed a multi-layered attack that would overwhelm defenses through volume, precision, and deception. The goal was not just damage, it was to create a prolonged logistical collapse by destroying key bridge sections at the most vulnerable points. The operation launched under perfect cover of darkness. From hidden positions in southern Ukraine, Ukrainian forces first released dozens of decoy drones designed to mimic larger threats and saturate Russian radar screens. These low-cost UAVs flew erratic patterns, emitting false electronic signatures to pull air defenses in multiple directions. Behind them came the real strike elements, swarms of modified long-range kamikaze drones carrying shaped charges followed by ballistic missiles launched from mobile ground platforms. High above, Ukrainian air assets, including reconnaissance drones and strike aircraft operating at safe distances, provided real-time targeting updates through secure satellite links. Russian early warning radars along the Crimean coast detected the first contacts within minutes. Command centers issued urgent alerts. S-400 Triumph batteries, Panzer S-1 systems, and Tor M2 short-range defenses activated across the peninsula. Russian officers believed their layered dome, reinforced after previous attacks, could handle any incoming threat. Fighter jets were scrambled from Belbek and other airfields to intercept. But the Ukrainian plan was built to exploit exactly this response. The first wave of decoy drones approached from the northwest, flying at medium altitude to draw maximum attention. Russian Panzer systems opened fire, filling the sky with missiles and 30-millimeter cannon bursts. Bright explosions dotted the horizon as dozens of decoys were destroyed. This created the exact distraction Ukraine needed. While Russian crews focused on the visible threats, a separate group of low-flying strike drones hugged the Black Sea waves, using sea clutter and terrain masking to slip closer to the bridges. At the same time, Ukrainian ballistic missile crews received the go-ahead. Mobile launchers fired a salvo of precision-guided missiles, their trajectories arcing high before descending rapidly toward pre-programmed targets. These missiles traveled at hypersonic speeds in their terminal phase, making them extremely difficult to intercept. Russian radar operators suddenly faced a nightmare scenario. Hundreds of drone contacts mixed with fast-moving ballistic threats approaching from different vectors. Ukrainian control teams worked under intense pressure. Russian electronic warfare systems, including Krasuka 4 and Murmansk BN complexes, began broadcasting powerful jamming signals across wide frequency bands. Operators quickly initiated control handovers, transferring guidance of critical drones to backup teams positioned several kilometers away. As the main strike package closed in, Russian defenses reached overload. S-400 missiles streaked skyward, successfully downing several incoming ballistic missiles in bright mid-air detonations. However, the sheer number of low-altitude drones forced many systems to switch to gun mode, burning through ammunition rapidly. Fighter jets engaged visible targets but struggled to locate the sea-skimming drones in the darkness and clutter. The first major railway bridge came into focus on Ukrainian drone cameras. This structure, spanning a key section of the main supply line, carried dozens of trains daily loaded with artillery shells, tanks, and food supplies. A coordinated group of 12 strike drones converged from 3 different altitudes and approach angles. Russian Tor systems engaged desperately, destroying 5 drones in the final kilometers. But the remaining 7 pressed through. Their shape-charged warheads slammed into critical support pillars and bridge decking. Massive explosions ripped through the structure, sending twisted metal and concrete debris cascading into the water below. Live feeds showed Russian emergency crews scrambling in panic as flames illuminated the night. Air assets provided continuous overwatch, guiding follow-up drone waves to target repair equipment and secondary infrastructure around the bridges. Russian commanders ordered additional air defenses rushed to the sites, but this only pulled protection away from other critical areas. The third bridge, a vital choke point for heavy weapons transport, faced the final wave. This time, a mix of remaining drones and a follow-up ballistic missile strike hit in rapid succession. Drones targeted the abutments and approach tracks while the missiles struck the main superstructure. The combined impact created a spectacular chain of explosions. Entire sections of the bridge buckled and fell, rendering it unusable for months. Russian response grew increasingly desperate. Fighter jets conducted frantic combat air patrols, while ground forces fired every available anti-aircraft weapon. The cumulative damage across all three bridges was devastating. Major sections destroyed, tracks twisted beyond repair, and key support infrastructure burning. In the aftermath, Russian supply lines into Crimea were effectively severed. Trains loaded with weapons and food sat stranded on both sides of the destroyed bridges. Repair crews faced enormous challenges. The damage was so extensive that temporary fixes would take weeks, while full reconstruction could require months. Russian forces on the front lines would soon feel the shortage of ammunition, fuel, and rations. This operation showcased Ukraine's growing sophistication in combined arms deep strikes. By integrating drones for saturation, ballistic missiles for precision penetration, and air assets for coordination, Ukrainian forces achieved what many considered impossible, crippling Russia's primary rail supply route into Crimea without direct ground engagement. The strategic impact rippled far beyond the bridges. Russia would be forced to divert resources to air defense reinforcement, alternative routing through already congested roads, and emergency airlifts, all while facing increased pressure on multiple fronts. If you support peace and a free Ukraine, leave a comment below and share your thoughts on this bold operation. What do you think was the most critical element that allowed the strikes to succeed? Hit like, share this video with others who need to see it, and subscribe to the channel for more detailed military analysis. Peace for Ukraine.